This is the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Hello, friends. John Solberg here, your host for the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less. And I'm always excited to tell you that this show is brought to you by The Butcher Shop, purveyors of highly sought after 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvera 9+ briskets. And as always, they're handpicked just for you. The Butcher Shop has been retailing the finest meats for more than 15 years, and every week they're shipping out competition quality meats to many of the biggest teams in the competition scene across the nation. Simply put, teams who use the Butcher Shop win, and they win often. Even if you're not a competitor, you deserve the finer cuts. The Butcher Shop is shipping some of the finest prime, dry-aged, Australian Wagyu and Japanese Wagyu steaks to people just like you and me who aspire to be the kings and queens of the cul-de-sac. The Butcher Shop always has Berkshire, Compart Duroc, Allegiance Duroc, and Prairie Fresh all-natural pork in stock. And again, it is always handpicked out for you. Let's review all this. The best competition briskets, they got them. The best pork selection, they got it. Giving you better overall options to cook at home, you know it. So give the Butcher Shop a call today. 850-458-8782. That's 850-458-8782. You mentioned the Barbecue Central Show. They're giving you 10% off your entire order each and every time you call. You can also go check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/thebutchershop. Shop is spelled S-H-O-P-P-E. The Butcher Shop, home of the 100% Australian non-crossbred Wyvera 9+ biscuits. And today, let's take a jump back to 2010, and Greg catches up with one of my faves, the butcher himself, Dave Bosca.
All right, as promised, joining me now to talk about a topic that I have really wanted to talk about here for some time now. Finally got him on, competition barbecuer and purveyor of barbecue injections, David Bosca from Butcher Barbecue. David, thanks for coming on tonight. How are you?
Hello, Greg. Thanks a lot. Thanks for letting me come on and talk a little injections.
Hey, it's certainly my pleasure, and I appreciate you taking time out to do it again. Kind of remiss that I haven't really been on this subject before, but before we kind of get into that and the ins and outs of injections, why don't you give us a little background about yourself and kind of how you got introduced to barbecue, maybe as a kid or an adolescent, and then how that progressed into the competition side of things.
Well, I have been in the meat business for 28 years. That's something that I've done ever since I was 15 years old. We own a small meat processing plant. My wife and I run a miniature horse farm, and I have a little history with business. We've sold or wholesale, or I've done retail for, like I said, 28 years. I sat on the board of directors for the Oklahoma and Texas Meat Processors Association. I also own sit on our town board. And as far as barbecuing, it was a few years, which we've always done a lot of cooking, but a few years ago, I was flipping through a little magazine we have locally, and I seen a KCBS contest in Enid, Oklahoma, and I said, well, I've seen that on TV. I'd sure like to go watch that. Well, I got to looking it up on the website and seen that there was, oh goodness, there's a lot of these around here. And we bought an FEC cooker, and we've been cooking ever since.
So how many years ago was that? Was that 2, 3, 4 years ago, or even longer than that?
It's been 4 years. We've been competitively cooking for 4 years.
Wow, and obviously in those 4 years doing very well year after year. Last year finishing 7th overall in the Kansas City Barbecue Society, one of the more hotly contested Team of the Year races there in recent memory. Kind of looking back on that year, how did you feel about your performance, and did you find it as exciting as everybody else seemed to?
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was really a lot of fun. I got to do some traveling. Met a lot of people I probably would never meet on a regular basis. We flew to Arizona and was out there when all that went down, and we've been lucky enough to go cook at the Jack Daniels. We've cooked at the American Royal, just all over. We've cooked Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Texas. And as far as people we've met, I really believe that you're not going to find a tighter niche group of people, contrary to some of the latest shows that's on TV.
I have no idea what you're talking about, David, but that's right. We're talking with David Bosca.
No one does.
Exactly. This is David Bosca from Butcher BBQ and competition team and the injection company side. Let's go ahead and get into that a little bit. We'll talk injections here. How do you actually, you're obviously in the meat business there with your processing plant sitting on a few meat boards and whatnot, but how does the idea to get into the injection business come to you, and how do you start?
I originally took a cooking class by Fast Eddie up in Cook Shack in Ponca City, and he was injecting, and I realized right quick that is not much more different than what we've been doing for years in the meat business. With trying to become a pitmaster, I took the knowledge I had in the meat business, like I said, been in it 28 years, so I had a lot of knowledge from pumping hams and bacon and making all different types of sausage. And I just instilled that in a mix. And it took me 8-9 months of playing and testing and cooking, burning a lot of meat, throwing a lot away. We did a whole year's worth of competition that I never even let anybody knew what I was doing. I would tweak it here, tweak it there, change it. We'd come up with a new flavor. We'd try it. And it's just something that has been there, and I just wanted to keep pushing it. We've done everything from injecting it to vacuum tumbling it to marinating with it, which is all three completely different methods of getting the flavor and the moisture within the large muscles of meat. So,
and was it that time frame to come up with all your products, or is that just one at a time?
That was just one. That was nothing but the beef product. We tinkered with the beef for that long. Over the wintertime, we started playing with a pork product, and right at the first of the year, the raw products, being it's just a commodity, it went up about 30% in cost. So I said, okay, before I released my pork product, I reformulated it, started cooking with it the first of that next year. I liked the way it still was coming out, and we just came out with a pork the next year.
And do you have a chicken injection or some type of chicken marinade as well, or is it just beef and pork?
Well, we concentrate on beef and pork. I don't have a chicken product per se. We do market a phosphate product that we believe is as good as any one thing out there. The phosphate that we market is classified to cold phosphate. It can be mixed in cold or warm water. Phosphate is a product, all it does is adhere water molecules to muscle texture and muscle fibers. And by doing so, we're able to add flavors in the water that you can get to stick inside of meat.
It's very interesting stuff. We're talking with David Bosca from Butcher BBQ. Now, for the folks that maybe have never injected or have thought about it, never done it, and of course, rules of the show, no names, please. Why not list out some general reasons on why someone would want to go ahead and consider injecting, and kind of to piggyback on that, would you recommend it really only for competition stuff, or is it okay for the backyard warrior like myself and a few other people to kind of take a look at that?
Want to find out what Dave had to say? Head on over to thebbqcentralshow.com. There is a link in today's show notes. It's going to take you to the complete episode. Go listen to that thing. It's great. Always trust your butcher. Always trust your butcher. Dave Bosca, he's got great products. I love his products. I'm not pitching them just because of anything other than they are flipping fantastic. So, hey, thanks so much for listening. And until next time on the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I can't wait to talk to you again soon.